Johnny Fox here with another fantastic episode of Fox Tales. Here with a friend and a fan. Always a pleasure. The one and only Mr. Iain Parker. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, very well. How are you?
I
How are you doing?
I am probably not as well as you, but that's because I have a really shit job. I mean, perhaps you have a really shit job, but at least you have a ladder you can climb, which you seem to be doing.
Well, that's just it. I'm going to say my current job, I've got 2 weeks left in it before moving on. So I am, as you say, climbing up the ladder, making my way up there. But yeah, we'll check in a few more weeks' time, and we'll see if I've got a shit job then. We'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, I mean, what are there any good jobs? In an ideal world, if you could get paid for doing, anything, what would you like to do?
For me, I mean, the dreams is self-reliance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just having your own land and livestock and crops, and that's the living that you'd want to make. But if you were working, it'd have to be something creative or something that fulfills that inner passion that you've got, whatever it may be. They always say if you find a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So you need to fulfill that to get that dream job.
Yeah.
But I suppose it varies. For me, like I said, something probably creative. Doing that full time, that'd be an ideal thing. Whether it's art, music, video, who knows what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just something creative. That outlet would be ideal.
I mean, speaking of which, I have visual, and I could see a little something right behind your head.
Oh yes,
that we could talk about.
So you do realise what that is? That is.
There you go. Hey.
Our good friend Count Orlok. Obviously, yes, we're a big fan of Nosferatu in this house.
As are many houses.
As it should be. Yeah, fantastic.
Doing all right. Yeah. So the painting, I'm going to dig into that a little bit. This is did you take some classes, or is it all you make it up as you go along? A bit of YouTube tutorial, maybe.
I mean, for me, it's very much been YouTube, a bit of sort of peer coaching, talking to like other people that have got more experience in painting, sort of thing, learning, picking up a couple of tips. But a lot of it's just been just go for it and just try it and have a play around with it and see what you come up with. I've always been into drawing and sketching and things like that anyway, so it wasn't too much of a transition to move over to using oil paints really. So it's but a lot of it, all like what I paint, it all comes from mind. I don't copy still life or landscapes or anything. It's all imagination and then onto canvas.
Fantastic, yeah. And so, and the things that it inspire you to do that. Well, what are the kinds of things, you're just minding your own business, and it's just like, I'm going to paint that later.
It's for me most of the time. I see something that inspires me to not copy something, but I'll see a painting or an image of something. And I'll think, oh, I like that imagery. Whether it's, I don't know, a skull and a rose kind of thing, or it's a Grim Reaper. Do you know what I mean? You'll see a particular image and think, oh, I like that particular way it's been done, whether it's the lighting, the colour palette, or just the composition of it, really. I get a spark from something, and then I think, right, what's my version of that? And I just take it from there. But sometimes it's just a case of blank canvas, not a clue, start throwing paint and just see what comes out. And sometimes, as crazy as it sounds, the paint tells you what it wants to do. When it starts running and you see all these shapes that are created organically, it leads your mind to think, oh, that looks a little bit like this. And you follow it and you just see where it takes you sometimes.
You see, that's the thing. That's the thing that I am incredibly... I'm not going to say envious of, because I feel like it's a little bit of too much of a sort of a negative emotion. Envy, it's a sin and all that.
Don't get me started on sins.
But I'm certainly in awe of people that have that artistic bent, or the artistic eye, as you say, that spark. Because I feel like I don't quite have it, or maybe I mean, maybe everybody has it. You've got to find it, right?
I would say,
after all
yeah.
these years, and I've tried a whole bunch of things, but I feel like I haven't quite found it yet. And when I see people who clearly have,
Mm.
it's just awesome. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I can't get enough of it. So I keep doing this every week.
Yeah, I think from my perspective with art, it's a muscle. So everyone's got it. Everyone's got that same muscle in your body. I mean, we all had wax crayons as a kid. Do you know what I mean? We've all done it. We've all took paper, pens, and scribbled something down. It's just a case of exercising it and learning that good form of, right, this is how other artists draw things, and this is the sort of thought process they go through and the methods that are used, and you just pick from it and you build your own toolbox. There's so many sort of tips and tricks out there for how people do things, but you find your own way. But it's good to take a bit of that recipe and a bit of that and think, right, I'll just mix up my own sort of like toolbox, as I say. So yeah, but I think everyone's got it. It's just you've got to exercise it. But I think that comes with finding the right type of art to do and the right creative outlet. So oil painting might not be for everyone. Some people might like acrylic. Some people might like working with inks, watercolors, alcohol markers, things like that. It's what works for someone doesn't work for everyone. So it's finding your own thing, but then exercising it and pushing it that little bit. I think sometimes you've got to force yourself to do the boring rudimentary exercises and just go through those basic steps, because on the foundations, that's where you build extra layers. So you've got to start with the core foundation, I think, sometimes. And watch those YouTube videos, read some beginner books and things like that. I think it's just that exercise, and you've got to start from the basics and work your way up to having some more confidence with what you do. But art's interpretive. It's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
Oh, of course.
Art's a subjective term.
Yeah,
so.
It certainly is. So, how many beholders are you interested in, showing off what you've got? You're thinking even if it's just creating a social media account just specifically for your artwork, or
funnily enough,
close-knit friends and family get to have a peek?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually working on my first commissioned piece that someone's actually said, will you paint this for me? So I think once that one's complete, I think that's when I'll think, right, start a new page maybe, or just keep it on my page. But yeah, it's maybe start pushing the boat out a little bit there. And once I've done one, maybe another one comes along, and who knows? It could snowball.
That sounds like a whole other sort of psychology. Being commissioned by someone else, the pressure that they don't mean to put on you, they just like you and like your shit, and went, give me some of that, please. But for you, it's got to be like you say, it's a little bit more than just a throw in the paint and chilling out. Like, hey, I'm gonna have a drink and a smoke, and I'm gonna throw some paint around. It's a little bit more like, I want this to be fantastic for these people.
Yeah, exactly that. It's when you're painting for yourself and you're just painting for the fun of it and just having just enjoying it, just enjoying the process. It's very different when you know that there's an end product or an end goal and an end customer kind of thing at the end of it all. And it's not just for me, it's for somebody else. I'm quite lucky because the person that I'm doing this one for, it's a friend that I've known for many, 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 many years. Probably 30 years plus I've known this person. So there's a good relationship there. So I've got some confidence that we'll have a good sort of good agreement sort of thing when it comes to sort of presenting it. But yeah, it's a little bit stressful when you stop and think about it. But part of it is you don't think about it though. That's part of it as well. It's only when you stop and think, right, look back at the painting and what I've done that session. Yeah. That's when it starts to sink in. But when you're doing it, it's just right. I'm just painting. I'm in the groove. I'm in the flow with it. And before you know it, you've done 3 hours on it, and then it's like, right, how will you start analysing it? And I'm my own worst critic. Everyone will tell you that.
Yeah,
so,
but this is where it starts, man. This is what I did. It was like, oh, I'm gonna do this live chat podcast type shit. I mean, everybody else is, why not me?
Yeah.
And this is how
absolutely
starts.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get my friend in. He's in a band, and and then before you know it, it's like I'm speaking to, you know, just fucking New York artists and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
LA YouTubers and whatever else I've had on it. I've got the fantastic Benicia coming up next week. My birthday twin. She's
yeah.
phenomenal. She's lovely. So it could go anywhere. But that's how it starts. Oh, I've known this person forever. It's not a problem. It's just
Yeah.
it's almost a favor. It's not like a
Yeah,
job.
well,
It's not. It
I
doesn't
think
count. And
yeah,
then the
I
next thing
suppose
you
you don't
know,
think much of it to start with, do you? You just think, well, it's just do a favour for a friend.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll help them out a little bit, and who knows?
Oh, how
Sky's the limit,
sweet.
I guess.
Or they're being polite that they like my stuff. Oh,
Oh,
but who
aren't they good
knows?
folk?
Who knows? In a year's time,
Mm, who
there,
knows?
there, there could be
Yeah,
a commission again, climbing ladders, all about climbing those ladders
we
if you
love
can.
those ladder matches. We love the ladder matches.
Yeah. Right. So fantastic. Painting. So did you tend to go for the sort of darker imagery?
Yeah,
Done 9 times out of 10.
yeah,
For want of a better phrase.
100%. I mean, when I first started, it was sort of Bob Ross that really got me into trying the oils, because I always used to watch Bob Ross. I mean, how can you not enjoy watching Bob Ross? Enjoy painting. So yeah, I did a couple of sort of landscapes, and I've played around, like attempted a couple of portraits, like that kind of stuff, just to get my feel for it. But then once I got confident with the actual medium of oil paint, it was just more a case of, right, now what do I want to paint?
Yeah.
And that's when the dark stuff started coming out. Which is, yeah, I really enjoy it. I enjoy the horror sort of side of things. So yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Right. So we're going to move on just a little bit. So got on a plane and took a little trip not too long ago.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrating the big 4-0. Me, my brother, and a couple of friends took a trip to Iceland, followed by a further trip to New York, and then back to Iceland, and then back home. So yeah, it was
Fantastic. So Iceland, right? Not everybody's instant go-to destination.
Yeah.
How did you decide on Iceland? What was the thought process?
Well, there wasn't much of a thought process to it. So it was a case of, me and my brother had spoken about, let's do something for my 40th. We talked about sort of saying, oh, maybe do a trip. Stuart had never been to New York before I had, and I said, oh, it'd always be good to go to New York. So we were walking through a shopping centre, and we saw a travel agent with the package saying Iceland and New York, February 2025. And we just looked at each other and thought, like, February, that's the month of my birthday. That's exactly what we were talking about. And we just kind of went, shall we do it? And just, yeah. So we went in and booked it, and that was it. So it was Iceland wasn't really planned. New York wasn't really planned, but we just saw it, and it was there, and it's like, well, why not? Basically, yeah.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Yeah. So there's not much there though, and yet it looks awesome.
I think that's part of the beauty of it, to be fair. I mean, it's very much, population is on the coast. Everyone's just around the edge. The middle of Iceland, it's just volcanic rock. It's just a massive volcanic sort of island, isn't it? But the scenery is absolutely stunning. It's photos don't do it justice. You're not actually seeing the scale of what you're looking at, and just the colours as well. Because again, photos don't do it justice. Seeing it with your naked eye, seeing those kind of mountain ranges and the glaciers and the geysers, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's absolutely stunning. So if you ever get a chance, Reykjavik, capital of Iceland, it's fantastic. Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Obviously, with the tiny population, I guess you had no real choice but to mingle with the locals. Some good people, I imagine.
Really good people, really friendly. Just good people. You can't say anything more than just everyone was just a good, decent person. I'm sure there were some unsavoury people somewhere in the country, but everyone that we met just always friendly. But yeah, fantastic people. Really nice place.
Is there a food, a specific kind of food or food group for Iceland? When you go various places, if you go into the Mediterranean, you're eating paella and whatever. So when you go to Iceland,
There's
get it.
So a lot of it was very much sort of similar sort of things you'd expect. There was a lot of seafood, as you can imagine, with them all being coastal fishing towns. There's a lot of sort of shellfish, fish, and all that kind of thing. But they do have a delicacy, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it, but it is fermented shark that's fermented in its own urine, which is not that bad.
No?
In all fairness, it's not that. It's not great. I'm not saying it's delicious and you'd have a plate of it and yum it down, but it was an experience. So you get this little chunk of fermented shark, and you get a shot of, I think it's basically like vodka. It's like a liqueur kind of thing. You chew on the fermented shark for about 30 seconds, and they say when you taste ammonia, you then wash it down with the shot. So it's like, okay, so chew on it till you taste piss, then wash it down with booze. Yum.
Yeah, which you probably don't really need telling, like.
Yeah. No, to be fair, but it's the point up until when it starts to, I don't like the taste of this anymore. It doesn't taste that bad. It just tastes like strong dried fish.
Yeah.
Like, if you just like dry cured fish, that's what it tastes like. So it's not too bad.
I imagine due to the temperature, it'd be one of those places where alcohol kind of comes with everything as well.
You'd think so, but I'll tell you something. It's expensive to drink in Iceland. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the exact numbers, but a round of 4 drinks, like to compare it to local prices that we pay here. So a round of 4 drinks cost, I think, nearly £50.
Wow.
Just in one of the bars, which doesn't sound too bad, but when you think like some of those were just like, it's just a Jack and Coke, that's just a half Diet Coke. Do you know what I mean? It's £50 for 4 drinks. It's like that's expensive, but you don't. I didn't mind paying it because it's part of where you are. It's like, well, you're paying to be here, so it's you pay their economy. So it was a bit of a shock, but I mean, I'm not much of a drinker anyway, so it wasn't an issue. But yeah. Maybe the minimum wage in Iceland's just really, really good. Maybe you'll actually need to move to Iceland and pick up how they're doing it, because they're onto a winner. They've got a good system there.
I genuinely would have thought like a shot of vodka would be like with everything, like as standard, just to warm your belly that little bit.
Yeah,
you
get your bread rolls before your meal and a couple of round of vodkas. Yeah, but yeah, it's tell you one thing that is really good about Iceland: free electricity and free heating because of all the geothermal activity.
Right.
It's free.
See, now
they're on to win it. I can't remember what they said exactly, but I said they're on the way to becoming 100% green.
Wow.
As a country, because they can be so reliant on. I mean, they've got certain things that do rely on sort of fossil fuels and other sort of energy sources, but they are in the process of trying to get everything 100% green, reliant on the geothermal, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, well,
so
it's right there. And we have the technology, and you can do it safely. It's worth spending the money on. Not to get too political, but it's just money, and some things it's just worth spending it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to.
I mean, when you just look at the overall benefit that it would have, not just for Iceland. Like, I'm sorry to get geopolitical or anything, but not just for Iceland, but for the world in general. Just the cascade effect that would have. Just for them saying, right, we're 100% green.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done it, so there'll be ways that everyone else could do it to a degree. I'm not saying everyone's going to get 100%, but the world could go greener, and it needs to. But, but we digress.
Oh yes, we digress. So, sorts of geysers, hot springs, rocks, mountains, all of that good stuff. Quite the contrast to the towers of steel and glass.
Yeah. It was a bit of a culture shock. Well, yeah. I mean, going from quite a tranquil, slower pace sort of environment, jumping on a plane, flying for I think it was 5 hours, landing in New York, and then just completely different world. I mean, it didn't take too long to adjust to it. I mean, if you don't mind a bit of hustle and bustle and shimmying about the town quickly, kind of thing, it's fun. Yeah, it's. I really enjoyed New York. I could do well there. Yeah. Some people say like, "Oh, I couldn't live in a city like that." I think I could. I could. I'd have to be comfortably settled, but yeah, I could live in New York.
So did you do? Did you, given you a relatively short time there, were you just like hitting those, tourist, kind of obvious tourist things, checklist style, or?
To a degree, yeah. So we did have a very busy sort of schedule. So we'd got this New York Pass, which allows you to get access to certain sort of tourist attractions. So like Top of the Rock, Empire State. We've got a tour around the harbour at night, to see Statue of Liberty. But outside of that, we took a trip to Red Bank in New Jersey,
over the bridge.
And we visited the Stash. So we had to go to the Stash, and I'm not even ashamed to say I got a little bit starstruck when I met Mike Zapsik. And I just turned around and Mike's there, and it's like, Jesus, I've seen you on Comic Book Men, and you're in front of me. So stopped and talked to him, took some photos, took some videos in the store, bought some comic books. It was
definitely so I don't know. Not necessarily bucket list. I mean, that's not like
100%. It was a bucket list trip, to be fair. I mean, it was one of those like, when are you going to get a chance to do these kind of trips? Go and see New York. You know what I mean? I may never get to do that kind of thing again. So while we were there, we had to take full advantage of. We can just jump on a train and we can go to the Stash and we can see it and we can be there. And it was a once in a lifetime.
I mean, how much? As someone who hasn't done it yet, and I'm saying yet, but New York, I mean, obviously, like with all every other movie, especially sort of 80s, early 90s, with if you like the action movies and stuff in particular, like every other movie is fucking New York. I mean, it might not actually be filmed in New York, as you find out behind the scenes later on when you grow up, but it's set. It's supposed to be. You think you're looking at New York. So just how much like standing on a movie set is it really? Or is it actually quite different?
Yeah. No, I would say it really is, because you can literally be walking down like a street and you'll spot a building and you'll see something. You've got, I know that place from a particular film. Spots from Little Nicky, the Daily Bugle. Just the skyline in general. Certain buildings and certain shots, you could think, oh, I remember that scene. I remember that scene. And it is like being on a giant film set. It's amazing.
Even having never been to New York specifically, but that's the thing. That's why I make my Marvel. That whole it's the real world setting. It's the New York instead of Gotham. Gotham seems great. Seems lovely. I mean, wouldn't mind a visit. I wouldn't want to live there, but I'd visit.
Well,
but it's
Gotham City is New York, though, isn't it? It's just not New York, but it is New York. And I always saw Metropolis that's DC, isn't it? That's I always drew those comparisons.
I mean, people could feel free to correct me on this, but only fairly recently, as an old grey-haired old man, did I find out, because I always had Gotham City down as a New York knockoff, right? But because of the movies, because it's dark, because it's violent, because there's gangsters, because it's like a 1920s, 1950s mafia New York thing, right?
Everything was set in New York back in the day, wasn't it? So that was the city everybody knew worldwide. Everyone knew New York, so you knew what seedy underbelly you could find.
It really shocked me to find out apparently Gotham is LA.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a bit of
Okay.
a mishmash with
Hmm.
New York, but it's predominantly LA based,
Yeah.
apparently.
Okay.
For their frame of reference for drawing the streets, the buildings, the whatever
Yeah.
else. Yeah, so
Okay.
like I've been wrong for decades. Not that it
Yeah.
matters because it's
Well,
Gotham. It's always been Gotham City, so it's like I'm not wrong as such. But
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I would have always made the New York sort of
Yeah. I
connection,
mean,
but
I,
apparently
I always do that connection. Like I say, that's news to me that it was based on LA kind of thing. I always drew the connection to New York, but do you know what I mean? It's now having said that, I'm kind of looking at some of the panels that I've seen of Metropolis and thinking, well, is actually Metropolis based on New York and not DC like I always assumed? But
yeah, I
maybe.
do not know about,
But I suppose
but that's
that's the beauty of them being fictional cities, though, isn't it? And they're not like I said, Marvel it's set in New York, it's set in New England or wherever it is. It's in the real world, whereas DC it's fictional, so it's just that. It's just Gotham City. It's
it's
not LA. It's not New York. It's Gotham.
it's
So
a bit of a tangent we're going on, but it was a thing. It always, whenever someone in from Gotham City or they're in Metropolis or Star City, but it always bugged the shit out of me when somebody in Gotham would then kind of make mention of, like, I don't know, going to see their sister in Connecticut.
yeah,
Like, hang on,
yeah,
whoa. Is this a fictional world or is it the real world?
yeah. They
Or
just kind
is
of planted
Gotham
their own
City
city to go.
some kind of,
Yeah,
yeah, like it's a kind of weird Harry Potter state that's like somehow sandwiched in between these real places. So you've got to
yeah. We're
know
just going to throw
how
about this
to get in there.
geographical area in.
It's like, pick a lane, that
Yeah.
stupid little thing. It's not enough to put me off some fantastic stories over the years.
Oh no,
But
no.
like, it's just a weird thing that always just like, look, Marvel don't have that issue.
Yeah. They just got
because
that.
they just
Yeah.
did it. So it's a place, Spider-Man swinging around Queens and all that, or the Daredevil up in Brooklyn or whatever. So it is a thing between the movies, between all those action movies, between the stuff like New Jack City and Juice and all of that good shit.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood, obviously, things like that. And then being a big Spider fan, it's definitely just to kind of like stand there, look up expectantly, not see him swinging past.
Oh no, but
know.
you could imagine it though. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah,
when you, in a weird way, like walking through New York, you can kind of look around and you think, I can imagine how and why they had the inspiration for Spider-Man the way they did. Thinking like, could you imagine just swinging around and then it all goes from there, doesn't it? But yeah, it's
just
New York is just a giant film set, Marvel backdrop. It's fantastic.
yeah. And then so it's based. So was Jersey the Garden State? Is that basically like in and out, like stash and done, or to get the exploring done?
We did a bit of exploring, so we went through a couple of the shops, sampled some of the local. One of us got some of the local ice cream that they made from phenomenal, like sweet candy store kind of thing. It just had all kinds of stuff in. Went into some record stores. Yeah, just had a bit of a mill about. I mean, there wasn't massive department stores out there, kind of thing. It was very much a suburb kind of town, but it was lovely. Do you know what I mean? Red Bank is absolutely a beautiful sort of backdrop. It's like the architecture of some of the buildings. When you look at some of the older sort of town hall and some of the old schools, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, anybody who doesn't know Comic Book Men, if you missed it, but we're going to be mainly we're probably preaching to the choir here. It's going to be like geeks and nerds that'll be tuning into this at some point, wherever you find it. If you just joined us, you missed it. But the Comic Book Men TV show. What did we get? 7 seasons, something like that. Six,
I think something like that. Yeah,
7 didn't feel like enough.
Yeah.
But so it's set in Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in Red Bank, New Jersey, a real place. This guy's been right there, has photographic evidence and everything. So it's like I guess it's like the best kind of reality TV, where instead of a bunch of fake people faking shit.
Exactly. Well, it is. It's real. Like you just said, it's real people that are genuinely who they say they are, doing what they do, loving what they love. They're not pretending to like comic book stuff. Do you know what I mean? They've liked it for decades, so it's proper reality TV.
Yeah, and to watch these guys for 7 seasons, sort of every week on TV, selling comics, doing cool shit, setting up events, going on little buying adventures and things like that. The kind of, you know, it's real. You know they're real, but I'm just wondering what it's like to really know it's real. Like you're right then, you're like, holy shit, he really does just have to work here like a normal person. You're a
weird
TV star.
Yeah.
You know,
that's exactly what it felt like.
I work in the comic book shop. You know,
yeah,
it's not a bad job.
That's pretty much exactly how it went. So me and Stuart were having a look around, sort of taking photos of things, like seeing the Buddy Christ there. There's costumes, there's T-shirts, there's loads of props from loads of his films, loads of like some awesome collectible stuff as well. There was a beautiful Skeletor bust that was just it was phenomenal. But we heard some of the staff saying, like, I think they were checking some delivery or something. They said, "Oh, we should ask Mr. Zapsik," and they was kind of like, "Oh, Mr. Zapsik, oh, he actually works here." And then 5 minutes later, turned around and he was there. And Stuart just kind of went, "Yeah." I just looked up and I was like absolutely starstruck. And I just went up to him like, I'd got my video camera because I'd been documenting the whole trip. And I went up to him and said, "Do you mind if I just got a photo with you?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely." Came and had a photo with us. And I even said to him, I said, like, "Oh, sorry, we're a little bit starstruck because we've actually seen you." And he turned around and just went, "Why?" Like, generally, just down to earth. Why? Like, it was literally like dumbfounded, like saying, like, "I'm just a guy, I just work in a comic book store."
Yeah.
Like, what's the issue? And it's like we were just like, whoa. But yeah, it was fantastic. Really cool guy. Really cool.
And I mean, everybody's a big guy. To me, as you know, I'm a very small guy. You're a big guy to me. Just how big is that guy? He seems like a big guy.
He's not far off the same height as me and Stuart, to be fair. So he's probably about 6'1", 6'2". But yeah, he's a pretty average sized guy from my perspective. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Art, travel. Let's talk music. Let's talk music a little bit. It makes the world go round and all that.
It certainly does.
So, what have you been listening to lately?
Well, I've just been at Resistance Festival, Sheffield Corporation, which has been absolutely fantastic. 3 days of awesome music, awesome people. If you don't know Resistance Festival, it's kind of a goth, EBM, dark wave kind of festival, and it's fantastic. So I just want to call out a couple of the bands that I absolutely love. Were fantastic. So the headliners, so Priest, Aesthetic Perfection, and Ashbury Heights. Massive thumbs up to all three. But discovered a couple of new bands while we were there, which heard of a couple of them before, but never actually seen or listened to. Some of them just completely new. So Toronto is Broken and Reeves, Rain Noir, Harpy, Beyond Borders, Cypherdyne, Years of Denial. I mean, there's some absolutely phenomenal bands there. So yeah, if you're into any of that kind of stuff, check out the lineup that played Resistance Festival 2025. Check out some of the bands because yeah, it was fantastic. Really, really good.
Yeah, it's good. Was it a good crowd?
Yeah, some of the best people ever. To be fair, I mean, I'm somewhat biased, but yeah, just just a good crowd, good vibes all round. So hats off to obviously all the support staff that helped put it on, all the people that worked it, everything. It was brilliant. I mean, Corporation's a bit of a second home anyway, but seeing it in a festival kind of atmosphere is just really, really good.
At the risk of coming off a bit biased, but I swear it's true. In all the years I've attended shows, performed on stage at shows, all of the antisocial, anti-establishment, all of the scary lock up your daughters shit, all of that metal, punk, dark, goth, all of that nasty stuff. That's where I've always met the best, most beautiful, helpful, pick you up off the floor. Chances are you don't end up on the fucking floor unless you want to be there.
Yeah.
And everybody goes home smiling. It's some of the other more mainstream, supposedly acceptable, nice, where the police seem to get called at the end of the night. There's at least one urinal missing off the wall, and maybe a certain type of dog is barking.
Yeah.
With our friends with the talking brooches. But all of the scary stay away kids, don't get into that shit, seems to go off without a hitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's whenever, like, I mean, growing up, sort of thing, goth clubs and rock clubs weren't absolutely everywhere like they are today, but it was always with it being a bit of a subculture within society anyway, it's like you always kind of looked out for each other anyway. But then it's almost becoming a little bit mainstream because you get some absolute twats at some of the gigs that you might go to. But I think when it comes to like a festival like that, where you've paid good money to go there, you put in the effort to be there, kind of thing. Everyone's there for the same reason. You wouldn't go to that effort and that extreme to then be a dick. Or I'd like to think people wouldn't. I mean, I didn't see any issues or anything like that. Everyone seemed to just have a great time. But yeah, I know what you mean. Some of the more sort of mainstream sort of venues and gigs, Leeds Fest, for example, like you always used to hear about loads of issues of like sort of riots and things there. Don't think that ever happens at like Bloodstock, to my knowledge, or sort of Download kind of thing. Yeah, you get some sort of misbehaviour, but never to that extreme. And I just think, is it because of that sense of unity within that subculture where people just think we're all a bunch of misfits, basically, aren't we? That we're all kind of go, well, we're all a bit of the weirdos, but hey, to each their own. No shit to me, no shit back, kind of thing. We all just get on and just I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of love within the alternative culture, I think. So, like I said, the big scary metalheads will be the ones that will step in and say, knock it off, kind of thing.
It's crazy how it goes all the way around on itself, or kind of almost more like the time travel thing, when you put the dot and then you fold the paper, and so the dots are on the top of each other. From like, the hippies and the peace and love, and then you think you've got the Satan worshipping fucking heavy metal shit, but it's really it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because any of that like Satan worshipping shit is all just fun and games for something cool and an aesthetic. It's a gimmick. It's all just a giggle, really. And it's really lovely people who still just want to perform and make art and make people, because they're performers. So, and you want people to enjoy your performance and come and see your performance again and buy your T-shirts and your records so you can keep doing more performances. So you want people to be happy and have a good time.
Yeah. And like I say, it's all the performance, though, isn't it? It's all the theatre of performing. So you might be a musical artist, but the aesthetics and the stage presence that you've got is part of the performance. And like I say, if you want people to come back, you've got to give them what they want, really, don't you? So if you're onto something good and you think, well, what I put out there, people are into, keep doing it.
Certainly, that with more of the as you say, like the dark wave, the things like that. image is definitely a big thing, like within that genre. I mean, like it is in pretty much everything these days, and sadly,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes for me, again, it's all art, so it's just personal
Mm.
opinion. There can often be image over content, can be an issue. So within a subgenre, a culture where image is most definitely high on the agenda
Mm.
for all of these acts, when they're creating the act, it's not a secondary thing really. It's definitely right up there, equal with the music, a part of it. They quite easily run the risk of becoming image over content. So when you find the good ones, you know, they're probably going to be the really good ones. Having that whole package.
Yeah. One thing that I did really enjoy about Resistance Festival is there's some of the bands, like I said, that have got very much got the look going for them, but they've also got the substance behind it as well. But they've got a very distinct look. Priest are a brilliant example. But some of the other performers, like I hate to say this, weren't what I expected them to look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just average looking guys in jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So but I loved that about it, because even though there was a sea of black, sort of leather, PVC, like everywhere you looked, everyone was dressed in black. But then you saw these flashes of, oh, that person's wearing luminous like green, or there were people dressed all in white, and it was just fantastic. So everyone embraced the differences of everything. So it was like the image doesn't matter, but it does matter.
Yeah, I mean, all us, artists of all kinds, we all hate the labels, right? Mm-hmm. If you're just trying to create art, it's whatever that spark. We're taking it back to the beginning. You've got that spark, and you just fucking create, which is what everybody should do. Just create.
Yeah.
We use labels, genres, mediums, because you've got to sell your shit, right? And that's the way we've created the business.
It's marketing, though, isn't it? It's how you target that demographic of, well, it'll look at these people. So if we lump it in here, there you go, easily digestible.
Why? Yeah, because it's like, if you've got to put a label on things, it's like, for me, all my favorite things that I like, and they would all be punk. Like by my definition of what I've, through my own experiences, decided, just me personally, what I've decided that punk is, which is just the freedom and just liking and accepting anything that you like, and certainly the idea of just do it, like not necessarily, staying in rehearsal rooms or your bedroom for like fucking years, being the best you can possibly be before you dare like show anyone or anything. Getting out there, and like, whether it's like photography, collage, scrapbooking, oil painting, whatever genre of music it is, when people just go, I like that, I'm going to try and do that, and they do, it's like, whatever it might be some dark synth, fucking backwards playing voodoo, weird ass shit. But if you're going to put a label on it, it'd be punk, but you can't say it's punk, because the Green Day fans are going to want the money back when they go to end up at Resistance, because you call it a punk festival. So it's like, each to their own, and it's stupid, and it's all just media invented bullshit, But
well, see, I've always had that issue. I mean, music especially. Like growing up, like I learned about some basic genres of music. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, you learn about it at school, and you think, oh, I can explain what jazz is. I can explain what this is. But then, as you delve deeper into it, it gets so murky. Just the definitions of something. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. Like when people talk about, oh, that metal's heavier than that metal. It's like, what does that mean exactly? Like, what do you define heavy? Is it Dragon Force, like hyper speed? Is that heavy, or is it slow doom metal? What is heavier?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Breakdown like Domination by Pantera. Do you know what I mean? That's heavy as fuck. But what is heavier than that? Is Cannibal Corpse then heavier because it's faster? Well,
yeah,
it's you see what I mean? It's weird, especially with just metal on
it's
its
just
own.
each to their own. Yeah, it's just there
Yeah.
are two musically. I mean, I guess art in general, but most certainly with music, there are two types of music. There's music you like and music you don't, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's going to be things I like that you don't, things you do that
Mhm.
I don't. It's just so it's we can still be friends. You know, it's just music. People
Yeah.
falling out over entertainment is fucking ridiculous. Or having great big arguments, whether it's on the internet or real life, over fictional characters and their depictions
Yeah.
from the page to the screen or some shit like that. It's great to debate and speculate, and if you can do it politely and have fun, and I like that. But when
Discussion
people
as
are
adults.
genuinely angry and upset about this shit, it pisses me off.
Yeah, it's when people get offended that you like something that they don't. And it's
Yeah.
like, what does it matter? You don't even know me. You're just some keyboard warrior just saying, you shouldn't like this. And it's like, well, I can like what I want. I mean, but yeah, it's each their own. I mean, you like what you like. Simple as that.
So, I mean, music, sticking with music in particular, music's it's a mood thing, right? I mean, it certainly is for me. It's not always. I mean, it's quite often Pantera time, but it's not always.
Oh no! It's you've got to have an eclectic taste in music. I mean, my taste is so varied. It'd baffle some people if they listen to all the different bands that I listen to. Like when I'm sat working from home during the day, the variety of music that I would listen to during the day is bizarre at times.
That's the best way. That is the best way because it's not bizarre at all. That's normal.
It's what I like.
I don't
It's
quite understand people that aren't, eclectic and bizarre.
yeah.
Like I said, again, because I think it's somewhat tied to your mood. Either you want to put a certain kind of music on because of the mood you're in, or you want to put a certain kind of music on because it's good at maybe getting you out of the mood that you're in.
Yeah, or put you into the mood that you want.
Yeah.
It's either reactive or proactive, isn't it? You're either putting it on because you want something out of it, or you need something from it.
Yeah.
I mean,
all art is great, and on all kind of say, I pick music out a lot, not because because I'm a failed musician for Christ's sake, so that doesn't mean I know shit about music.
likewise, brother. Likewise.
So, but it's just because we've been doing this shit since banging on the cave wall when it comes to music. So, I think that's why it is. It does hit people so hard. It changes. It goes in cycles. Generations prefer this type of music, that type of music, or whatever. But it's never going away.
No, oh no. I mean, with you saying that, obviously it starts with our great ancestors banging on a wall, hollowed out tree, or whatever it may be, just some basic drumming kind of thing. But I think that is generally ingrained into our evolution and our sort of subconscious as human beings. I mean, you only have to go to, like I said, a gig like Resistance Fest or just gigs in general, and just when the beat drops, just look at the crowd. Do you know what I mean? No one's saying do this, but people just do it, and it's automatically like you see it at raves and dance clubs and things like that, where people are just with the beat. That once that beat hits, it hooks just that tribal instinct of people, and I think it just captures them, and it just gets that primal sort of element of you, and it gets you.
I mean, you know what? I think anyone who knows me or anyone who's been watching this shit for the last year or so, I've been doing. Know me? The punk rocker / metalhead. Yes, it's not going to argue. But I'm starting to I sort of miss the sort of the 90s rave culture.
Yeah.
Those nights clubbing and the ridiculous communal love in those rooms with complete strangers.
I'm a little bit too young to have gone clubbing in the 90s, but I've heard that there might have been a bit of chemical influence bringing out the love of everybody in the 90s.
The great thing is that even if you didn't necessarily have to partake, to kind of get the benefits.
Oh yeah,
because
like
the people who did were there were just wanting to hug you. They didn't want to fight you. You know, everybody wanted to hug everybody. And again, like you say, that beat, when that just the throng, the sea of people, complete strangers, all arms around each other, all jumping and all that. And you know, it happens with mosh pits and everything. It's just a music thing. But certainly that kind of like mid-late 90s sort of electronic music, rave, the dance, techno, Eurobeat, whatever you want to call it, that kind of scene was lovely.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's that wump of a beat kind of thing. It just gets you in your bones, and that's why I think music is so important for everyone. Like everyone needs music in their life. Like,
I do this. I like to try and out people, even though I don't, not really, but because I always say this, I'm not beholden to this guilty pleasure. As a concept, I like what I like, and I don't care, and I'll tell you, and it's fine. I'm not really bothered. But so, for want of a better phrase, a guilty pleasure. What's an artist that Iain Parker likes that might make even people who think they know you quite well think, really, you?
I mean, people that know me wouldn't be that surprised. But I mean, to list a couple, I mean, well, Pavarotti. Like, I mean, I love classical trained singers and classical music and opera and just classical composers as well. I like just classical music in general. Old 50s and 40s sort of, I don't even know what genre of music you'd call it, but just that kind of era of music. Some old country like Marty Robbins. I mean, 90s pop music, so Aqua. I mean, people probably wouldn't expect me to say Aqua, but again, it comes back to that what we're saying about music and the beats. And you know what I mean, people will say, "Oh, I don't know those bands." It's like, yeah, but if you listen to the bands and listen to the music and listen to it for the music, there's some great stuff.
Everybody instantly thinks Barbie Girl, right? Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. And I hope they get paid very well still to this day with some kickbacks.
I'm sure.
But I think probably still a top 10 single, but yet everybody forgets. Turn Back Time. Shoot, as ballads go, when you're in the mood for a ballad, Christ, that's a cracking ballad.
Yeah, and
from the Aqua people.
They never got enough credit for the amount of talent that they actually had in that band as well. You know what I mean? So all I'd say to people is like, just listen to an album, just one album by Aqua, start to finish, and then tell me they're absolutely dog shit. If that's your opinion, fair enough. But I think give them a chance, and you'll be like, oh, actually, they've done some good stuff. They do some good music. But obviously, it's the mainstream shit that was marketable that they sold, and that's how everyone knew who they were. But those people that kind of went, "Oh, I'll give them a little bit more of a chance," rather than just listen to what's on the radio. That's when you picked up on the other tracks that they've done and go, "Oh, okay, all right." What you're putting down, I'll pick you that up.
Yeah, more often than not, album tracks are where it's at, kids. You just got to dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper.
Dig a little deeper.
So, movies, TV shows. Let's do a little bit of that. What's been?
I don't really do TV shows. I don't have the patience or the attention span to sit and watch countless episodes. However, having said that, Reacher, season 3, fantastic. Really enjoyed Reacher series.
I really did like 1 and 2. Just haven't found the window to fit 3 in yet.
3 is really good. I think if you enjoyed the first 2, you'll enjoy the third one. It's exactly not exactly the same, but it's some parts.
It's not a spoiler. It won't be a spoiler, so you can give me this. If I had a criticism of season 2, it would be that the thing even though it's not a massive criticism, because I think being different is also good, and I appreciate when things do things differently. If you just do the same thing over and over again, I'm going to lose interest.
Yeah.
But a thing that I found quite different in season 2 from season 1, season 1 seemed to be very up close and personal. A lot of like melee combat. He was just punching people in the throat all the time, or fucking punching through a wall or whatever. And this huge mountain of a guy, I found that very visceral, and that was the thing that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like season 2 pulled back on that and had a lot more gunplay. I started to kind of, maybe I'm just a bloodthirsty motherfucker, but I don't, shooting, pointing your hands at people and they fall over. It's TV, we grew up with the A-Team, where, plenty of explosions and people falling over, but, nobody dies. So it's like, when you get to see the real hard-hitting, like, melee combat stuff, that's the thing, that gets me hard, right? I like that. So I would like to see a return to a little more of that in the combat scenes in 3. If I'm going to get that.
What's season 3?
It might push the window up a little bit,
Yeah, if you like the hand-to-hand, like Krav Maga kind of, all that kind of, there's some fantastic hand-to-hand stuff in season 3. There's still an element of gunplay, a fair bit of gunplay in there as well. It's a good mix, actually. Now that I think about it, with you sort of highlighting the changes in the tone from season 1 to 2, looking at season 3, it's just as much of the hand-to-hand that you've enjoyed, but then just as much gunplay on top of that as well. So, there's a good amount of action in it, and good exposition story bits as well. I think that's what I liked about Reacher. I really cared about the characters.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Right from the first couple of shots and scenes in each of the seasons, where you just picking up on what's going on, who's this person. I'm just interested straight away. I was like, okay, where's it going to go?
Yeah,
because you never know where it's going to go with Reacher.
But what it is, it's incredibly well written, isn't it? Because it could be so easy. It could be so easy. A big man hit bad guy. That's, and people have watched the shit out of it. But it's so much more than that.
Yeah, I think it's, like I say, it's really well written with, I don't want to say convoluted story, because it's not so much convoluted, but a twisting and turning story where it keeps you guessing and you're not quite sure. You make this assumption and it goes, nope, I'll whip that from under you. It's not quite that. And it keeps you guessing. But then good acting on top of that.
Yeah.
It clearly massively helps. I mean, you can have certain films that, if it's well written and badly acted, it still holds up. But this is one where it's just a really good mix of well written, well shot, well acted, well choreographed, and just a good series. Like I said, it's the only series I've watched.
If I could, in keeping with that, if you're enjoying that, if I could recommend something right back at you, if you could find time for TV, would be The Lioness.
The Lioness.
The Lioness with, oh my God, what's her name? Zoe Saldana.
Okay, yeah.
It's like some people are saying female Reacher. It's not quite that, but that probably is the closest frame of reference to really give.
Is she like a private investigator type thing, or is she just like a vigilante?
No, it's more of a special ops.
Okay, right, yeah.
Black ops.
Wet work kind of team. Okay.
But it very much goes between like the out in the field on the mission, but you get to know these people because they're real people, and at some point they go home, and they try and have relatively normal lives, and it's not necessarily easy when you're involved in that shit, but without ever being, or at least so far, it's 2 seasons so far, without ever being overly like melodramatic or soapy. I'm kind of digging it. Okay, I would say a fan of Reacher would get along with it pretty well.
I'll give it a look, man. I mean, I kind of give TV shows like a 2 episodes sort of grace period. If I'm not hooked, I want to watch the 3rd episode, it's binned off. Daredevil, prime example.
Yeah.
Did not.
Not feeling it.
I watched really paying attention to the opening. I just thought it just went on and on and on, and it was like a 15-minute scene for what could have taken 3 minutes of good, hard hitting action and well shot, well choreographed sort of stuff. It could have been over in a fraction of the time, and then following on from that, just loads of talking and talking and talking. I didn't get on board for a Daredevil show to just sit. I know they would be talking, but too much talking, not enough Daredevil. It's like,
no. I mean, I made it to the end. They've already announced it's got a season 2 and everything. We're going to get a lot more. He's probably going to turn up in the movies at some point. Well, he already has, but Matt Murdock has. I'm sure Daredevil will. Everybody's loving it. I certainly did not dislike it. Didn't feel like I'd wasted my time, but I do think it's incredibly overhyped. It's okay. It wasn't terrible, thank God. Like they steadied the ship, if you will. They've been having a bit of a rough ride of late of old Marvel, and we know that this particular series had like a ton of reshoots and rewrites and recasts and things like that. So I had a lot of shit, and it kind of shows. Still a better TV show than I've ever made, so I'm not going to criticize too much.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because when it's good, it's one of those. When it's good, damn, it's good. It really is. It has these spikes where you go, "Fuck yeah, this is why I'm watching." Then you got to wait a while before they give you another one, you know. But overall, you're like, okay, now you've remembered how to do it, sort of a thing. You're thinking season 2, if they keep this ball rolling, if they don't hit a reset, if they keep going with what they've worked out from this, that unfortunately they kind of worked it out in public, if you will, you know, then if season 2 is really firing on all cylinders, it could be some good shit.
Yeah. I think the issue that I've had with sort of the Marvel projects and things is because they started losing the consistency after Endgame. Do you know what I mean? A bit hit and miss, and then the quality just seemed to be going down and down. But then the amount of projects they were churning out seemed to increase, and I was like, it's quality I'm looking for, not quantity. Yeah. So I'm waiting for. I mean, Wolverine, Deadpool, or Deadpool Wolverine.
I always forget.
Yeah, it's well.
Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. I went there to watch Wolverine put his mask on. To be fair, that's what I was looking for. But yeah, I mean that was fantastic. But some of the other Marvel stuff, it's just it's not grabbed me and made me want to watch it
again.
Thunderbolts, however,
if people are super honest, if you can be kind of brutal about these things, Deadpool Wolverine is shit. But it's great because it's fun, it's exciting, it's entertaining, it's funny. It's action packed. But like the storyline is so thin, you know. And, but it has more heart than I kind of expected going in. It has a few more sort of introspective moments where they try and put something on the line. A little bit, well, make a film out of it. But essentially, it's just a string of set pieces that we've all wanted to see, so we all came out happy. But like as a film, to sit down with like plot and like I said with Reacher, with characters that you care about and give a shit what happens at the end, and it's like, well, I don't really care if they live or die, just as long as he puts his cowl on before he goes.
I think you've sort of highlighted a point there, because years ago when I was sort of doing film studies and all that kind of stuff, there was one thing that I learned, and it stuck with me, is there's two types of films that you've got. There's one that's going to appeal to your brain, or one that's going to appeal to your senses. So your Fast and the Furious film, that's for your senses. That's it, flashy noises and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you've got the ones that will sort of make you think or tug on your heartstrings or whatever. You can have it's not one or the other. You can have the mix of it. And I think Deadpool Wolverine is very much it's here for your senses. It's to give you the goosebumps and the thrills. It's not to tantalize your brain. You know what I mean? It's not to make you think, oh, let's go and think about multiverses. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you'll theorize your comic book nerd stuff, but you're not going to go away thinking about your existential crisis kind of thing after watching Deadpool Wolverine.
I think in the sense of, does it do what it says on the tin? Does it do what it set out to do? I think they had a certain kind of film in mind, and I think they nailed it.
100%.
All from beginning to end with that film. So in that sense, then it's a great movie. But, I've watched it a few times since the cinema. But, like, for fun, like, it can be almost background noise. I could, like, put it on and I might scroll on the phone a little bit. I might have something else I've got to do. I might be making some lists or something. And
you can almost put it down and pick it back up as it's on, kind of thing. You're not going to lose the plot. Like, if you know what's going on.
There's some kind of audio cue. I'm like, oh, it's that bit. And I just stop for 5 or 10 minutes and go,
watch that set piece and go, right, I'll wait for the next bit that I want to see. But again, that just shows that it's for your senses. You want that adrenaline rush sort of thing of that scene. Whereas, like, if you look at some of the other films that have come out of the last sort of 6 months, there's other films that are not that, and it's therefore you to think about and gets you more in the brain, kind of gets you in the brain pan rather than just giving you goosebumps kind of thing.
So you have been to the silver screen a few times of late, though.
I have, yeah. Well, finally took the plunge and got one of those unlimited Cineworld cards. So me, Stuart, and his other mate Johnny, pretty much just go to cinema a couple of times a week when we can, see whatever we can as much as we can. So yeah, we've seen. I've lost count, to be honest. It's got to be close to on 30 films. Since the start of the year, maybe 20, 30 films. But
because I mean that's something I keep meaning to look into because I want to go to the cinema more. I don't want to be that event cinema guy that only goes when it's some big deal, like I'm some kind of brainwashed bandwagon jumping pleb. I fucking love movies, and movies belong at the cinema, and I want to keep the cinemas open, and I want to keep the filmmakers making. So I want to do that, but it's become quite an expensive day out over the years. It's kind of rolled back a little bit of late.
This is not a plug for Cineworld, brother, but get one of these unlimited cards. You pay 18 quid a month. You go as much as you want. 18 quid a month.
I mean, that's three times it's paid for itself, hasn't it? Something like that. 2 or 3 times, and pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, call it three visits and it's paid for itself in a month.
Yeah.
So you go once a week and then you skip a week. Now, if you've got the availability, you can do a double bill, 2 in 1 day, a couple of times a week or whatever. Before you know it, you've racked up eight films in a month.
So what's good about that is rather than just seeing the marquee, what's the big blockbuster this week, that means you might have been able to see some sort of hidden gems that aren't necessarily getting all the headlines.
Yeah, exactly that. Woman in the Yard.
All right.
Yeah, that was one. We purposely avoided trailers, any reviews of it. Just thought we've seen the poster, we know we can go and see it. Let's go and see it. We didn't even know what genre of film it was. We just rocked up, and then when the opening sort of tile comes up and it says, "Right, yeah, here we go," it's like, "Oh, okay, it's a horror film." Right, okay, here we go. So yeah, had no preconceptions of what we were in for, and just took it in as entirely fresh, and that was a great experience. And that's a great example of the film. So after first watching it, didn't hit home, didn't really enjoy it that much, and then we were talking about it afterwards, and then we started thinking, hang on, okay, so no spoilers, but started thinking about other aspects. I think, oh well, okay, what about symbolism in that, and okay, what does that mean? And it became one of my top films of the year for that reason. Once I actually thought about it, and I thought, oh, actually, there's a lot more going on in this film than is on the surface. And yeah, I highly recommend Woman in the Yard.
And I can highly recommend talking about it with your friends afterwards. Any film, for me, that's the ritual. That's almost the best part. It's the get pie, pizza, whatever you're into.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's true romance, isn't it? Go watch a film, go and get your pie, talk about it. Yeah.
People to go see it, and if you've got to fit this in. Well, we all have busy lives and all that. If you really want to see the film and you've got time to go and you've got to get off, do something else, you've got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah.
But if you can find
Absolutely.
time, to stick around, if there's just the two of you, but if there's 3, 4, 5,
yeah,
and you can sit around, and you can have like an hour after the credits have rolled. You can almost find yourself with maybe not a completely different opinion, but looking at it from a different angle, certainly.
Oh, 100%.
That's great. That's what all good. You should do it with all good art when you go around the gallery and then go get something to eat and talk about the paintings you've seen. It's just that human interaction is a huge part of it.
But it's as like using the woman in the yard as an example again. It's like if I'd seen that on my own and then not spoken about it afterwards, I'd have thought it were not a good film and it wouldn't even be on my radar to ever think about or talk about again. But having spoken about it just made me think about it in a completely different way. So it's, I forget the word, but it's so vital to discuss it with someone, even if it's just one person. Just talk about the film that you've just seen together and see what you think of it. What did you take away from it? What did you think of this? What did you think it meant with that? And just hearing someone else's opinion on it, and it's what it's about. Like I say, social interaction and art. It's to bring people together.
Yeah. Have you ever walked out on a movie?
Oh,
I mean, we're English and we're Northern English, so we've paid money for this shit, so it's hard. But have you ever just gone, no? Maybe like half hour, an hour in, you've just gone, no, not feeling it.
There's been one film that I've done that to, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. It was it was one of the horror films a few years ago that went 3D. Oh, what was it? It might have been a Paranormal Activity sequel.
Right.
Do you know when 3D films were all like Avatar had hit and everyone went, oh, let's go 3D and do everything 3D. It was one of those, and it was just garbage. for lack of a better word, it was just garbage because you could see the 3D element on the screen before it was a 3D element. So you feel like, well, something's going to happen there, and then lo and behold, that thing came towards me. So it's like it was like a bad Ghost Train in film form. Do you know what I mean? It was just bad, and it got to the point where I thought, I don't even want to sit and see what they've got planned. I just want out, and I threw the towel in and left that on. But I don't think I've ever worked out on anything else.
I did it once. I've also only done it once ever. I have sat through some trash. The one time that I got up and left, and it's not even that bad a film by all accounts. I mean, it didn't even seem that bad, but I don't know. We were just bored at the time. We weren't in the right mindset. It wasn't the film we should have gone into. You know, sometimes, as you say, it can be great to just go in blind.
Yeah.
Sometimes that might be the problem, though. Like I said, that you've not enjoyed it, but it's because some films you need to be in the right mood. Watch them a second viewing can make all the difference sometimes. And I remember we went to see Daylight, Sylvester Stallone's. Sylvester Stallone is a fireman trapped in a tunnel
with a young Viggo Mortensen.
Because Stallone in a tunnel, and then he gets out. I mean, that's it. That's really it. It's not a bad film. It's actually not bad at all. A lot of interaction, and it's not an action movie by no means. You just think it's Stallone. I mean, he can't act for shit, so he's got to do action movies, right?
Yeah.
And so just watching him waggle his torch about, it was just like not feeling it.
Yeah.
At the time, not feeling it. So we left, and we went straight out, and it was like, do we go home? Do we go to the pub? What do we do?
Yeah.
And as we left, and we kind of looked up at what else was on, in just like 5 minutes later, there was a showing of Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
And we went.
Excellent.
So we came. I'm sure I'd love to be able to tell Mr. Schwarzenegger. We walked out on Sly and into what most people consider your worst film ever, and had a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Jingle All the Way.
I do.
Oh,
I
brilliant.
love it. I love it. It's a Christmas tradition.
Oh, no.
So that was the one, and I've since
Mm.
watched Daylight Since, and it ain't a bad film at all.
Yeah.
So
Like I
if
say,
you watch
you
it,
need to be in the mindset for it, don't
yeah.
you, to watch certain types of films.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we just weren't feeling it. But we had a ball with Arnold next door.
Good man. Good man.
Right, listen. I'm going to start wrapping this up. I'm not going to play this or that because we've done that. I think
Mm-hmm.
probably. But I've found a few other slightly left of centre questions that I like throwing at people.
Oh, okay.
So I want to see what you think. Like whether you'd rather be a genius in a world of fools or a fool in a world of geniuses.
Well, it's amazing how often those two overlap, isn't it? Really. So.
Yeah, I have felt like both within a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Depends what
No,
room you're in.
I can sympathise. Yeah.
I think if I had to pick, if it was one all the time, I'd probably be the fool in the world of geniuses. It just sounds like more fun. I wouldn't even know that I was an idiot, because I'm an idiot. I'm the fool. I wouldn't even be aware of it. So.
Yeah, that's where I was just going with. So yeah, I'd have to be a fool in a world of geniuses, because if you're the only person that really understands what's going on and sees it all, you'd be miserable. Whereas if you were blissfully unaware, ignorance is bliss, isn't it? So if you were the fool, and yeah, I think that day.
Ignorance is bliss, and yet knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Strange. But more important than that, before we get too deep,
Okay.
Would you rather have ice cream that doesn't melt or pizza that never goes cold?
Ooh. I'd have to go for the pizza, because
cold pizza ain't the worst thing in the world, is
it? No. Cold pizza for breakfast. Yeah, steak. But yeah, ice cream's got to melt. It's part of why I enjoyed the ice cream. When it gets to that gloopy ice cream soup at the end.
Yeah,
that's some good ice cream. So yeah, I'd have to go for the pizza. I mean, could I get the pizza to go cold if I wanted it, or is it perpetual hot?
Never goes cold. I mean, it
never goes cold.
I would say. I mean, I just throw these things out. I don't think that much about myself. But I would say it would be like the perfect edible temperature.
Yeah.
Because stupidly hot straight out of the oven pizza's no use to fucking nobody, is it really?
Yeah.
So I would say
it's got a bit pizza.
That perfect edible.
That handleable. I'm not gonna get third-degree burns on my chin when pepperoni slides off. So yeah, it's got to be the pizza. Oh, yeah, I want my ice cream to melt.
What about? I mean, maybe you've already done this, but don't tell anybody. But if you could start a rumor about yourself, what would it be? Do it right now.
Oh God. If I could start a rumor about, that's a tough question. If I could start a rumor about myself,
and it would take. Everyone would go through. Everyone would take that bait. Everyone would go for it.
It'd have to be some obscure talent or skill or something, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think something. I don't know. He's an expert gem crafter or something weird like that. Like, I don't know.
Iain Parker can eat soup with chopsticks.
Yeah, something bizarre. It's like he can do that. I don't know. It can breathe through his ears. Yeah. I don't know. In fact, yeah, that's the rumor. Iain Parker can breathe through his ears. Yeah. There we go.
All right. So this is the killer. This is what's been getting people. Would you rather burp confetti or fart glitter?
Well, it's going to be burp confetti. Yeah. Glitter gets everywhere. And if people knew that that's what you did, and then they get glitter on them,
this is the one people start asking. Yeah, this is the one people want to ask me questions like, does the glitter go outside my trousers like the smell of a fart, or will it all just be in my pants? And
Oh, just like a glitter
I've not
cloud.
really thought of that.
Oh no, no, no. I don't need to think about it very much. Like I'll burp confetti. It'll be a party trick.
Yeah, I'm good at weddings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be. If there's a bunch of you, you could do like a chorus of like Budweiser frogs that just burp confetti.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that'd be
could probably TikTok that shit and never work again.
We're on about. There you go. That's the creative dream job: being able to burp confetti and just getting hired for weddings and parties. Yeah.
So, the real big one. It's not an. I admit it's not an entirely fair question, but would you rather have infinite knowledge or infinite creativity?
I would have to go for infinite knowledge. Yeah, because creativity, I think, is something that it's good to have a limit to it, if that makes sense. Have a ceiling to this is your creativity, this is how far you can get. But to have limitless creativity, I think it would almost devalue it. Whereas limitless knowledge, I think that's just intrinsically value in itself. It's like, well, you know more stuff. You know it. So yeah,
more stuff, which you could be incredibly creative with, because
exactly.
Now with this infinite knowledge, now I know how to do X. I'm going to do that for a bit. See how far I can push. See where my limits are on that. I mean, now I'm going to do this.
I mean, it goes without saying it'd be a superpower, but that'd be an amazing superpower to be truly omnipotent. Not omnipotent. What's the word for?
No, omnipotent.
Is it omnipotent, all knowing?
All knowing, yeah.
All powerful, that kind of thing. But yeah.
I mean, I get that. Depending just how much of the extreme we want to go in the lore of this thing, I guess it could be a burden to really know everything.
Well, that's the thing. You know everything. There's no mystery left in the world. There's no secrets. There's no guessing. There's no surprises. You know everything.
Everything.
You know when you'll die. You'll know when everyone's going to die. You'll know how they're going to die.
Yeah. Would you? Okay. That's the thing. If you could, would you like to? Would you want to know how and when you die?
No.
No,
it's something that like I've had that conversation, had that question sort of before, and it's like, no, I won't want to know. It's the joy of life is not knowing when it's going to end. It's because if you knew how much you got time, you're like, think how you procrastinate over a weekend when you know you've got a job to do. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got 50 more years, it's like, well, I've got 50 years. So are you really going to enjoy those 50 years? But if you didn't know, you should enjoy it every single day that you've got.
We should try. We should certainly try.
It's a goal. It's a goal to how to live, whether we do it day to day. But yeah, it's a good idea.
I have two relatively quick celebrity questions.
Okay.
Firstly, they say don't meet your idols, but have you had any celebrity encounters?
I've met a couple of
Mike Zapstick, which we already.
I mean,
anything else?
I've met a couple of. I've never met an A-list celebrity or anything like that, but I've met a couple of people. I wouldn't say I were fans of them, kind of thing. So I've met what was his name, Pritchard from Dirty Sanchez at a download years ago. Kristen Scott Thomas, met her once. I think that's about it, to be fair. Apart from meeting like a couple of musicians and things from like gigs and things afterwards, but again, never like an A-list sort of artist or anything, but more sort of like the smaller bands and what have you. Yeah, met a couple of the bands from Resistance Fest, so that was cool.
Excellent. So, okay, I'm going to allow living or dead. If you could go out for a meal, go out for a drink with a celebrity, who you taking with you?
Oh, can I pick a living and a dead? We stretch
Why
it.
not?
Yeah. So
Why?
dead would be Robin Williams.
Oh.
Alive. I'd have to go with Arnold Schwarzenegger, just because, as you know, I'm a massive Arnie fan. But just to hear the stories and the things that they've got to say, yeah, I think that'd be. But if I had to choose of the two, I think I would go for Robin Williams, just because it's Robin Williams, isn't it? So yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, the stories he'd be able to tell you, the conversations you'd have. I mean, I think it'd be effortlessly, like you'd be laughing like the whole evening kind of thing.
One of those guys, I think, like universally loved, right? I mean, nobody, you never hear an unkind word about Robin Williams, right? You just don't. Whether it's public
if ever
or
you did, I
celebrity,
think
whatever.
it would speak more about the person saying it rather than sort of Robin Williams, because, like I say, he's universally loved by all sort of level-headed people. So, I mean, how can you not like the guy? But
I think it's one of those times where it's kind of strange, like he's passing, and still when he comes up in conversation to this day, as he just has right now, I can never met the guy, and now I never will. So I don't know him. I have no right in sort of, it's like I have no right to grieve, to give a shit. He's a face on a screen,
yeah.
What does he mean to me? But yet somehow they do, and I feel a bit of a loss.
I think for me, Robin Williams was obviously a cornerstone of growing up, and even after I'd grown up, like, he was still doing films and always entertaining. But then knowing not on a personal level, but knowing what he went through in the sort of the last few years of his life, the struggles he had, I think it just made him feel really human. So I think everyone just felt that loss of he was a good guy. But yeah, I think that's what it is. It just that everyone related to him. I think that's why I think he's universally loved, because everyone kind of was there with him.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Miss you, man.
It's sad. It's sad. Yeah.
So before we go, do you have a celebrity impersonation?
Oh God.
A little
Not really. No,
really?
I mean,
no, me neither.
I'm more one of those kind of guys where you'd be better off saying, "Can you do an impersonation of this person?" I'd go, I can try and make an ass of myself, or I'd go, "No, I can't do that one." But it's my impersonations. It's pretty much always just copying exactly what they've said in something. So I'll just try and mimic a quote of someone. But yeah, throw a couple of actors at me, and I'll attempt.
Without being like, can you do an Arnold?
No, you put me on the spot. I'm trying to think of something Arnold would say.
I never have. I've tried and failed almost my entire life. I've never had a.
You've got to get in there. It's the issue with impersonations is like you've got to know what you're going to actually say. So it's always like, I always get the kind of mind block and just like think, what can I say? And it's like,
give me a get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Do it now.
Better than mine.
Yeah. He took my father's sword. There you go. There you go.
Right. So, thank you very much for your time, dude. It's
been a pleasure,
as always. We're going to wrap this up with the Foxtails catchphrase. The catch part of that being that I don't say it, you do.
Okay. And what's your catchphrase at the minute?
So you can do this do this however you want. If you want to do it comedically, if you want to sing it, if you want to scream it, shout it, if you want to do it erotically, I've had a few of those. They've been quite nice.
Oh, nice.
Whatever. But your line is, and then we'll wave goodbye. Your line is, till next time, keep it foxy.
Oh dear. Yeah, you got it, man. Until next time, keep it foxy.
Thank you very much indeed. Kids, this has been Iain Parker. As the
Good
sun
evening.
sets slowly in the west, we bid you a fond farewell.
Good night.